Today there is something special I have to share with you. As you know, it's Black Friday sales season and I made an entire video about what you should get, but a lot of people also asked me what I personally got, and there's like one plugin that I got. It's like a 15% discount. I will link it down below. I think it's still valid, so if you want to go check it out, in the description. And that plugin, I mean, I just played around with it like 1 or 2 evenings. It's fascinating. Like, it's by far the most fascinating plugin I've ever worked with. It's Vocaloid. It's like a plugin that tries to replace a singer, basically. And they're now at version 5. I've tested back then, I think it was version 2, where it was like on its way to get there. And I think 5 is a huge step, but let's actually check it out and see if it truly can replace a singer.
I thought that you were something special. Turns out you made it with the devil.
If you absolutely don't know what Vocaloid is, it's really basically like Melodyne, so you can change vocals. But the exciting part about it is you actually don't need to record a singer to have like a basis to work with. You can just artificially create vocals. You can pitch them up and down, change a whole lot of settings that we will get into later. And you can also just type the lyrics and the program will create a person actually singing those lyrics. And I mean, it's just fascinating. So that's the basic principle, but let's just like have a look onto the software and show you how it actually works, what it can do, and also where the limitations are at. That's the standalone version that I'm using for today to showcase you everything, but you can also implement that in any DAW. There's a VST and AU version of it. If you start with it, I would really recommend to just go into the browser and choose one of the voices. There's Amy, Chris, Kyrie, and Ken. Let's maybe go with Amy. You can choose the language. We will stick to English. And then you can choose the type, the color, so maybe female and then clean. And if you, for example, choose one of those that just says A, then that's the sound you get. That's already quite impressive if you think about it. Like, those are artificial vocals. But what really shocked me in a positive way was if you choose like entire sentences.
I just wanna hear your voice. I just wanna hear your voice. I know that I can make it. I love you and you love me.
I mean, you can hear it's not perfect. I mean, how could it be perfect? How could it be able to replicate the human voice? But it's so close. I think if you use it on a song that has like a full rich instrumental and you embed those vocals in there, not a whole lot of people will be able to tell if it's like a computer or a real singer. So let's maybe search for one that sounds really nice.
I wanna stay with. I will keep your smile in my man. I will never say goodbye, no, no. I'm just chasing the moon in the darkness.
This one is not bad. I mean, it sounds a little like nasal, but this one is really, really spot on. This could be an EDM banger.
Life is what you make it, no matter what you say.
Then if you got one that you like, you just drag and drop it here. It will create a new Vocaloid track for you. And then it basically just works like almost any other DAW. It's really close to Melodyne, but again, like, this is creating it. It's not just like changing and editing vocals. And it's quite complex. I mean, there's so much I learned from this software about the human voice, what you all have to kind of think about that a singer is doing automatically. It's really insane. I absolutely wouldn't love to be on the team programming this. This has to be so complex. But yeah, let's go into the editing mode. So as you can see, you got here your vocals. You could just play it as usually.
No matter what you say.
You can take all of those notes and yeah, move them up, down.
No matter what you say. No matter what you say.
You can really mess with it.
No matter what you say.
It's really funny. It makes so much fun to play around with it, but let's bring it back to the normal place.
No matter what you say.
Of course, you can change the BPM to whatever you want. It will automatically adjust.
No matter what you say.
And then the fine tuning is really the part that blew my mind because it's like really so complex. You can pick anything in here. Change the style, for example.
No matter what you say. No matter what you say. No matter what you say. No matter what you say.
And then what's like even crazier than that. I mean, this is still like, we know that from Melodyne. But now you can just type in words, which is insane. So we could replace no matter what you say into no matter what you make.
No matter what you make.
I mean, that's crazy. And we can change you into I.
No matter what I make.
Make maybe into made.
No matter what I made.
Or just change it entirely. Into no matter where I go.
No matter where I go.
And then there are the deeper settings. You can change the attack and the release of the vocals. You can change it like coming from a low note to a high note and vice versa. There are a ton of settings you can choose from.
No matter where I go.
So now it's coming from the top on the go. We could change it to come up.
No matter where I go.
This might be something you should choose for the beginning and maybe not that drastic. Maybe there's like a softer up.
No matter where I go.
And you got the same release effects for the end. You can, for example, choose the vibrato down.
No matter where I go. No matter where I go.
And then of course you can switch it up. You can change the voice. So you could just go to voices and choose English again and maybe Chris.
No matter where I go.
I mean, it's like totally screwed now because we messed with it. So maybe let's pick another preset.
To you, to you. All of you. Come close to you. Feels so good to be a girl that like you know me. Girl
That's
like
good.
you know me. Girl, it's so true. Hold me tight.
Might be even better, this voice.
How do you bend your knees? I just wanna see your body move. I never could have known. I've been watching you. If you feel the same, baby.
I'm so impressed. I could go through all of these presets like for hours. There's even like one button where you can control and add breathing. So an artificial breathing to make it sound more like a human. Which is like really next level stuff. I'm really amazed by the software. So now actually the biggest question is, what is this for? When is it useful? When is it not? Who should use it? Who should get it? For me, first of all, it's just big fun. It's so much fun and really amazing that something like this is actually possible. I'd say this is good for people that have a hard time finding a vocalist, that just wanna start making music, and maybe instead of paying someone to record something, this is a great alternative. especially useful for ad-libs, especially useful to create these pitched vocals that you hear a lot in these newer kind of styles of songs. This is a great tool to actually, as a producer, when you don't have access to a singer and songwriter, just to start writing songs. If you can't sing, you can just play the MIDI, write the words, have a demo ready, send this out to a singer and songwriter, and they could replace it. It opens a whole lot of new creative tools because you can use it as an instrument as well, or just like to try and replace vocals, add them to the background, create layers, create harmonies, create maybe the lower octave. All this kind of stuff is really possible with it. And I think what's most fascinating is that this Vocaloid plugin is actually creating a new style of music, like this artificial voice music that is really hyped in Japan. If you've never heard about it, just go check it out. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube. It's really amazing because there you can hear what people actually can do with this program if they use it fully and make like entire songs with it. It of course also has its limitations. It's of course not like up to par with a real singer, but it also doesn't come with the struggle of a real singer. But at the end, I think if you want to do pop music, electronic music, and you want vocals on it, you will at the end have to go with like a human actually singing it. The software isn't that close, but I think in a couple of years it will be that close, and we'll see more and more songs that are actually made just entirely on the computer, which might be even great because this way the producer can even have more control and it's more his creation. Doesn't have to rely on a vocalist. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I think I will also do a couple of songs with it and see how it works. Maybe, as you know, I was always thinking about like a techno kind of side project, and for this stuff this might be actually cool to use something that isn't human and then further twist it and mangle it with plugins, maybe add a lot of like a crushing effect and make it like really dark and techno-y. It's really fascinating, and I can't wait to like really fully use it on a song. So again, if you're interested, it's linked down below. I will now spend the rest of the day playing around with it furthermore, and hopefully be able to showcase in a couple of weeks, maybe even a full song with it, and further test it, compare it, and try to get everything out of the software. It's really complex, versatile, and really props to the people making this. This has to be a whole lot of work. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see us tomorrow back again. Tomorrow's a quite exciting day because we're going to party with Kungs at the Boats House in Cologne. So don't forget to tune in.